Morning campers, join me for part whatever it is of whatever I'm doing. It's a good start, isn't it? I think I've come to a dead end. Yeah, I have. Oh well. Yes, that's right campers. Today I am on part whatever it is, 7, 8 of my round the UK coastal trip, anti-clockwise, and today I'm starting off from where I left off, Pensarn, or the train station's name is Abergele and Pensarn, which I think are two little communities back to back. Today we're going to see how far we can get, but I'm hoping to walk to Conway, the dog barber. I don't think I'd want my hair cut by a dog, would you? One thing's for sure, in my second visit to Abergele and Pensarn, the buildings, the architecture are higgledy-piggledy and of different ages, and it looks vibrant. It's the first Welsh coastal town that I've come to that looks like things are going on. Antique shops, fish and chips, bit of affluence to the area. Not that antique shops and fish and chips are the be all and end all. Lovely little cottages. Abergele Old People's Club. That's nice. And a beautiful lich gate. Isn't that grand? I recognise it now. This is Pensarn. Circus is in town, obviously, or in transit perhaps. That bus stop over there, and there's a train station I couldn't get the train from because they were cancelled, so then I had to pay extra for a bus because the rail replacement bus went straight past me. To see the sea again. I wouldn't be upset if I saw this sight every day. Today, that direction, see how far I can get. As you can probably see, I've took my hat off, took my coat off, short sleeves. It's not gloriously hot by any means, but the sun's out and you can feel there's an extra bit of warmth to the air today. Of course, last time I was here I was talking about how many billions of grains of sand there are in the world, and that there's more planets than that. But there's also on this beach, mile after beautifully shaped rounded pebbles like this one here, which is a lovely orangey yellow quartz that's been rounded off. And the problem is you want to take them all home, but thankfully I put them in the tops or the bottoms of my plant pots. I'll find a home for him somewhere. Nice. Into the pocket it goes. I'm trying to negotiate a thin line between what you can see is far too rocky on my left and a little bit sort of maybe a bit boring on the sand at the moment. So there's a sandy pebbly bit here between the two which I'm walking along. The only problem being, as I mentioned, that I have to stop every 10 meters and pick something up to have a look at it. And it was weird thoughts into your head, you know, like I was watching, I think it was Brian Cox on TV last night, or YouTube, and it was talking about if the Big Bang theory is correct, that at one point, like a split microsecond after it all happened, everybody and everything in the universe was compressed into like a centimetre cubed or less of area. That's crazy. And it starts me thinking, like, all the places in the world the moon, all the planets and stars and asteroids in the galaxy, all my ex-girlfriends, all their boyfriends and their ex-girlfriends, my mum, my dad, my auntie in Canada that I've never met, or maybe once, I can't remember. And it's weird to think that all of that stuff and all those people were within centimeters cubed of each other. Some people, of course, you wouldn't mind, but I would say the general majority I'd rather not be quite so close proximity to. Oh, it's easier now on the sand. That's nice. Nice. And these are massive stanchions. Look at these. Don't know what's going on with these. Are they called groins? Was the beach that high once? They're all quite big, look, stretching off into the distance. I wonder if it was to protect the coast, or, you know, now that the rocks, these have obviously been dumped here by local authorities, maybe that's what protects the coast now, rather than these massive fences going out into the sea. Look at this massive piece of driftwood, this, isn't it? Need a big aquarium to put that in. Wonder what kind of tree it is and where it actually where it grew. Where were you born, tree? It'd be interesting to see how far it's come. What's also fascinating to me when you look at these man-made boulders that have obviously been quarried somewhere and tipped over the side of the coastline to protect it. You can, I've only just noticed, you can see the green only goes so way up, and then they've got a layer of brown on the rocks, and then after that they're completely untouched. So it's amazing quite how far the sea comes up. And what's peculiar to me as well is why are they green, and then why are the next ones slightly tinted brown? This is obviously some kind of seaweed on these. And then right next to the beach they're white. And the other thing is, as you would expect of course, the ones near the top that haven't been touched by the sea are jaggedy and pointy and sharp on the edges, and these ones here are completely, they look like they've been melted, you know, like some of the stones around the Sphinx in Egypt. Obviously the repeated battering of the sea has done what it does to these pebbles to those stones. I wonder, it'd be interesting to know how long they've been here for them to get like that. Well, as nice as it is walking along the beach itself, it's there's not much sand left, and it's getting a bit treacherous underfoot, especially without walking boots on. So I might have to try and find a way up to the path along the top there. Speed up my progress a little. It's weird how I just walked along the beach for a mile or two and saw no shells at all, and then suddenly I do find shells that just suddenly start appearing again. And this is some kind of limpet, isn't it? Is that a limpet? First one I've seen of this variety on the trip anyway. It's weird how different things wash up at different parts of the beach. Can you explain that, anyone? Let me know if you see anything. I'll stop and pick it up. As is usual on the British coast, a massive caravan park. Black-headed gull, and this is obviously a fresh mountain Welsh river winding its way down into this Irish Sea. First Welsh river of the trip. Actually no, there was one last time, wasn't there? Seem to remember we crossed a bridge. Yeah. I wonder what that one was called. You'll probably know before me. It's wonderful to be alive. This bit of the footpath was closed off for some reason, but I'm just going to walk along it anyway. Well, it's blocked going this way. I can understand it this way, perhaps because there's maybe cliff that's fallen down a bit. But there is a tarmac path for bikes and pedestrians off to the right here, so I'll probably just take that, stay safe. I don't know what's around the corner, but it does look quite steep. Wow, look, celandine as well. Look at those beauties. I'm looking forward to this journey around the coast, to be honest with you, because from what I remember when we were kids, we used to find all sorts of weird and wonderful flowers as we were on our holidays in Wales, along the coast, but also on the mountains. Quite rare ones probably, and things that you wouldn't be allowed to pick these days. It would be against the law, but we did. You know, we only took one or two, and would put them between pieces of tissue paper until we got home, and then Mum would help us dry them out and put them in some kind of press under some heavy books so that they dried out, and then we'd label them and identify them and all that kind of stuff, which when you're a kid is quite good fun, you know. I still get excited about it now, finding unusual flowers or just any flowers like dandelions and celandines. It's good. There's an element of discovery of things that are rare and wild that is intriguing and keeps you looking for more. Oh, this is a steep bit. All that closed off for one bit of concrete. Come on guys, you can do better than that. You see how people have gone around the side anyway, and it's muddy as hell today. Be a really stupid idea to film as you're doing it, wouldn't it, walking around this? Don't worry, if I go arse over tit, I'll leave the footage in. Oh, done it. Success. You can see kind of rabbit paths along the hillside there, the cliffside, but it's a long way down. I'm quite glad I didn't force my way through that way, because if the cliff is eroding, that's it, you're gonna. Oh no, this looks like a bridge coming up. Oh, I hope it's not a bridge. It is a bridge. Is it a safe one? Oh dear. But at least this bridge, although it might be quite a drop, has these nice solid sides that you can barely look over if you don't want to. I totally disagree with the little bridge Orgal. It should be open. Sorry for butchering the Welsh. I've got some food here today, so I want to try and get my food at reasonably early so that I might find space for some fish and chips later. I'm all for cedar fences, but leaves a bit to be desired, doesn't it? Whole great big mile-long stretch here of these odd concrete weird shapes that all the same shape, all got a separate number on them, just been dumped here. I mean, maybe after 100 years they'll look more like, you know, more scenic, more like an actual coastline like the other bit did, but a bit weird, isn't it? A bit ugly. It's like you can't even escape brutalist architecture at the beach. As I mentioned before on previous parts of my coastal series, I'm always humbled and impressed by the size of the ocean and the amount of water that there is on the planet, when you consider I'm looking at a microscopic, tiny little, minutest percentage of it just in my horizon here. And I'd 99.999% sure the world is not flat. It's a globe, just like every other object in the universe, or most of them. I'm very unconvinced by the flat earth people. But it would be easy to be tempted into that argument, wouldn't it? Where you look at the horizon, and is it just a trick of my eye, or can I actually see as I look at this vast horizon before me that it's slightly higher there than it is at the edges? It does feel that way. But then it makes you realise when you kind of weigh it up in your brain, it makes you realise that that's very, very tiny, small angle of curvature that I think I can see continues for thousands and thousands of miles. The Earth is huge. It's huge. If this circle is like that all the way around, it's just mind-boggling how huge the place is, and how much water there is, and obviously how much land there is. How many places there are to explore if every horizon looks at like this tiny, tiny angle. So much to see and so little time to do it. And another thought that crossed my mind, and apologies to anyone that's atheist or believes devoutly in a religion, but often when I was younger I used to think of science fiction or science fantasy ideas that I could write a story about. I still haven't put it into practice yet. But some of the religions say that God is in every one of us. That's what God is. Well, imagine if water is actually God. We're mostly water, so that looks after that idea. What if God is just most of the planet, making sure everything goes all right? We are naturally drawn to water. It has so many weird and wonderful properties compared to other elements. Interesting little pier here. Obviously industrial of some kind, because it looks like it's for loading boats with something, probably some kind of ore, because you can see like conveyor belts, and then it continues up there. Looks like that's some kind of quarry up there. So yeah, it's a nice, interesting bridge. It must be some kind of quarry transporting ore somewhere. And almost as if on cue, a few meters after what I just said, there's the chute taking the ore down to the ships, I guess. And look what it says down here: COVID 1984, flat earth, 5G weapon, wake up. See, this is one of the problems, isn't it, with which of those things do you believe were natural and which are just wacky conspiracy theories. My choice, COVID was a setup. George Orwell, 1984, a very prophetic book. The rest of it you can keep. I just caught a splash of red as I'm walking along. Let's have a look. Oh, look at that. I think that's Herb Robert, isn't it? What a lovely little patch. Welcome to the world. You forget during the end of autumn and winter, you forget that there are colours other than the occasional green. It's wonderful. The world comes back alive again. And the gorse up there, look. Famous for being a coastal and hillside plant. And apparently the petals taste nice, but I tried it once. They don't. That's a bit of a nice bit of natural cliff as a break for the monotony of those man-made concrete things. Looks like this used to be a little way down into to launch boats perhaps, but crumbled beyond belief. I'm not going to go over there. Heights are not my forte. Right, let's crack on. Well, the beach continues around with a tarmac footpath now. I don't know what it used to be like. And the main road following the coast and the train line, I think, that goes down to Bangor. And then after about another mile or two, you can see it turns to sand further over in the distance, and I'm guessing that's the start of the Conway Bay area with, is it called the Great Orme? That great big jut of rock over there in the distance. River number 2, tiny one. I wonder what the name of this one is. And there's a diversion because they're fixing the promenade. Oh, it's that beautiful, fresh, bubbling river smell that you get. Not that it's sluggish, muddy, chemical fields runs around where I live. Fresh Welsh mountain water. And obviously, long time ago, hundreds of years possibly ago, the local community felt fit to give it some little banks. Pretty banks though, you know, not man-made concrete monstrosities. I spy a bit of wildlife, do you see? Sitting there on guard like the Sphinx. Hello. 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 Oh, careful. Wow, delicately done. Hey. Hey. Hello. What's your name? Oh, and you're lovely. And that's to go from a walk, I'm afraid. Oh, I miss my cats. Have a good day. Oh, go on then, just a bit of belly. Bit of belly before we go. Yeah, look at that. Oh, thanks for trusting me. See you soon. Well, I can't seem to get through one walk without teetering above the main road on a bridge. And look how low this one is. I feel reasonably safe because it looks solid and you can't see down. Oh, that was quite a long diversion just after that bridge, arch bridge you can see in the distance, and those cliffs. I had to come off the road and through the housing estate almost above the cliff line, and then all the way back down. It's just finished the works, and here the beach starts again, or at least it would be mostly beach, I guess, if the tide wasn't in. But I'm going to find somewhere to park my bum and not have me food, I think, before I head round the next cove. Look at these two cheeky chappies behind me, waiting for the right moment to pounce, aren't you? Just looking down here and I found something I haven't seen for ages. Shell Island was a place further around the Welsh coast where we found these turret shells. These are nice as well, aren't they? But that wouldn't survive back home, I don't think. And also these tiny little tube ones, look, aren't they lovely? Oh, look at that beauty. That looks incredibly good fun and incredibly dangerous. The way he's just skimming feet above the railing of the pier there is just incredible. And look, there's another guy behind as well, much higher up. Not for me, I don't think. Especially if you crash land like he nearly just did, or after ditching the sea a mile out. Part of me wants to try it though. What about you? Would you do it? Well, it's just one massive bank of sand here, this beach here, this cove. You can see why people like it in the summer. Not my kind of beach, but I can see why people do. Play football and frisbee and just sit there in the sun. Nice looking pub over there as well, the Toad, which I want driving so I could spend the night maybe, you know, have a few beers in there. It looks like a nice pub. But anyway, we'll continue around the coast, see if we can find a nice cafe or something. I found a cafe called Fortes, which looks Italian but sounds French, with English people in Wales. Ordered a latte, which looks more like a Knickerbocker Glory, and perhaps has come out of a machine. Let's try it. Yeah, unfortunately. Well, it looks like I was a little wrong with my geography. The place I just stopped for a coffee was called Ross, or Rose, R-H-O-S, Ross Harbour. And then the next big stop along the coast is Llandudno. Then you've got that big jutty out bit, which I think is called Orm's Head, and then round the corner from that is Conway. Skirting the hills here of Wales, but look over there in the distance. Not sure you'll be able to pick that up. I don't know if it's Snowdon or not, but it's certainly a massive snow-covered mountain over in the distance. I wonder if that's Snowdon. It'll be a good 30 miles away, I reckon. When I get down to that part of the coast, I might have to spend a day going up and down Snowdon. Did it once or twice before, but it'd be nice to do it again. So I've had to make another course correction. Like I say, geography isn't my forte today. What I thought was the Great Orme is the Little Orme, and I'm not sure if there's a footpath around it or over the top of it. So I've stuck to the road, which I know will take me down to Llandudno. From Llandudno I've got to get a train to Llandudno Junction, because apparently they're not connected, and then change and get the train from Llandudno Junction to Abergele and Pentarn. So that's what I'm going to do. The trains look reasonably often, so I think it's about an hour to Llandudno. That's alright. Wish it wasn't uphill though. And what I'll have to do is, at a later date, or maybe tonight on Google, try and find out if there's a way to get over the Ormes, little or great, or both, on foot that isn't too next to the cliff edge. Come on, hill. I can see the top. Quite an impressive landscape, isn't it? And I just think there's a cave up there as well, just about there where my finger is. Anyway, look at this. Look at the view that greets you as you come over the hill into Llandudno. Hopefully, although knowing my jog for today, it's probably Cardiff. Massive, great big bay, pier up ahead. Looks like a proper, well, it was a proper seaside resort. This. Lots of my friends from Manchester and Salford area used to come here as kids. Some still do. So I don't know how much of whether it's been run down due to the British coastal industry's decline in seaside holidays. But let's find out. Nice row of cottages over there, aren't they? All slightly unique. Let's see what Cardiff has to offer. From what I can see at this distance, it does look like a typical British seaside resort, with all the houses along the front there Lots of little different colours of pastels, yellows and blues, maybe some pinks. And I'm guessing that big one is the Great Orme. It's always good coming somewhere that you've never been before in your own country. Well, your own, it's not my country, is it, Wales, but part of the United Kingdom. Hello horses. Hello, how you doing? Good, thanks. Isn't that impressive? Can you imagine being on a bus 50 years ago with your family arriving, coming over that hill and seeing that great big arc of a bay in front of you with a week or 2 weeks of holiday to look forward to? Must have been amazing. And spectacular as well, the coastline, you know, renowned for its sandy beach, and yet, as we've already seen, lots of pebbles and rocks and cliffs. A good variety of landscapes. We probably would have come here more, well, we probably would have come here as kids on holidays, but it's North Wales, you know. When you live down to the east of London like we did in Essex, South Wales is just that bit more accessible. And the southwest coast, of course, Cornwall and Devon, fond memories of those places as well. Hopefully, fingers crossed, touch wood, I'll actually get that far round one day. First though, got about 800 odd miles of Welsh coastline to do, including Anglesey, I think. So it's going to be a few months away, that. Hello sheepies. Hello, how you doing? I'm alright, thanks. Munch munch. Oh, isn't it great how the hills just roll down to pasture for the sheep, and then the coast the grass just turns into pebbles, and then the sea as far as you can see, and the Welsh mountains lit by the sun over in the distance. Let's see what Llandudno has to offer. I mentioned the seafront pastels. Look at that. There's a pale blue there, then a pale green, and then a different pale blue, peach, green, yellow, cream, all sorts of different pastel colours. From a distance they just look blue and white, but it's amazing the effort that people go to. And not just this place, other seaside places that I've been to, and you can see that it's continued all the way along the front. It looks very impressive, with then the pier at the other end and some massive looking hotel. I'm impressed, Llandudno, very impressed. So there's the little Orme over there. I can just about make out people on top, but doesn't look very traversable. Looks quite a slog to the top, and then a steep drop the other side. I might come back and try it one day. I think the Great Orme has at least a track, if not a road, going around it. So that'll be for my next adventure. Keep your eyes open for that. In the meantime, I've come down to the beach for one final time. Llandudno Beach, first time in my life, and it's great to be here. Thanks for watching. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you soon. Love you loads, bye.